Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special presentation from your boy, the Peace Theater. And I have my very special guest and partner, the astrotherapist. What's problem, bro?
What it do, man? What it do? Happy to be back.
How have you enjoyed this full moon so far?
Yo, like 2 days ago, I was raging with energy, and I won't even lie. The last 2 days, I've been a little bit chilling. I've been in my hermit mode cave. I've been on recovery mode. I think I went. You know how fire signs can do. We throw it all out. We throw it all out. So I threw all the energy out, and
Wow.
I've been recovering since. But tomorrow I'm gonna be back. I took no caffeine, no coffee. Up tomorrow I'll be like on fuego again.
Recovery day. Let's get it. That's what's up. Yeah, shout out to going all out.
What's up, Ashley?
Shout out to all y'all in the live chat. Thank you for joining us post ceremony. Yeah. Where are you at for anyone curious?
So for 2 more weeks, because I was talking to Mike, we're about to get ready to, if all things go well, we're gonna meet up in Mexico in the next couple weeks or so. So for 2 more weeks, I'm here in Arkansas. I'm visiting my dad, and then after that, the Aries is back. What up? And then after that, I'm moving to Mexico City. That's gonna be my home ground, and that's actually where we hope to meet some of y'all down in Mexico. If anybody's ever heard of Puerto Escondido, it's kind of south of Mexico City, and some of this that's going down today is a little bit of retreat talk. We've been talking about it. You heard Mr. Peace Dealer say a little earlier. There's a little partnership forming. It's a 222 year, so I recommend y'all get your tribe in check. Whoever that is, go ahead and meet them.
Shout out to those of you who came through when I whipped up something last minute in Atlanta, and it was really awesome to kind of see real people show up and kind of just touching in person physically and saying hi was very magical. So I'm really excited. I don't think I don't think I really expressed on this channel that there is a retreat. So for many of you watching this may be the first time you're aware of the fact that the greatest retreat in 2022 is going down in Mexico. It's a thing. Like this is not so much an official announcement, but we definitely just kind of letting you know. This isn't so much an announcement as much as this is
pre-nut.
Yeah,
it's the pre-nut.
There you go. Oh, the pre what?
It's the pre-nut.
What?
It ain't the whole load. It's the pre-nut.
Oh, okay. I want to make sure that's what you said. I was like, damn. Okay, yeah. See, and you need that pre-nut just in case, just so you know that you're still getting into something. But shout out to those of you. Actually, where is everybody from? If you don't mind commenting, like where is?
Yeah, I would love to know that. I would love to know that. Drop your city, drop your country. That'd be dope.
Oh yes.
You know, Mike said it. Mike said it. One of the key things about this is like, you know, working via YouTube, doing what we do. The best feeling, quite frankly, is when I meet y'all in person.
Right.
And that's been happening in different states, different countries. And when I meet y'all in person, there's nothing like it. Like it's pretty incredible.
It is. Oh yeah. And fun. I mean, it definitely gives you an impression too of what everything's built up of. Shout out from everyone, by the way, West Philly, Honolulu.
I saw Connecticut. I'm from there.
I saw El Paso. That's what's up. Shout out to
I actually was born in Texas, but I live mostly in Connecticut.
Ashley, there we go. That's what I was about to say. Yeah. So, okay, we got Arizona.
Hey now. Oh wow, Gold Coast, Australia. You still up? What time is it over there? Jeez.
Right, upstate New York.
Meet you the Queen. I've seen that name a couple of times. My sister was born upstate New York in Fort Drum. Yo, so we're here today. One, we thinking really kind of giving y'all like a little mini breakdown of like each zodiac sign from Aries to Pisces.
Right.
Probably like, I don't know, 4 minutes or so on each sign, talking about like, let's say the strength, the weakness, and potentially like the threats, potentially the opportunities, and then a little bit how they might play together. Mostly as well because like anything we ran retreat wise, I mean, ultimately we're looking to help you understand your own chart at an intimate level, right? At the end of the day, you know, different things, different modalities like breath work, stuff like that. That's just stuff I always do personally. But I think that it's really beneficial when you just like sometimes bring it back to the basics. Like, you know, Kobe, if you look at Kobe Bryant, it's like sometimes you just got to go to the rack, you know, too much dribbling, too many extra moves, you know, getting too complicated with astrology. Sometimes it's just not that necessary. Like, I find we start forgetting about our actual simple strengths, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that. Real quick, I appreciated that. Just going back to the basics because it helped me re-understand everything in it. When I first learned, I understood with like a green mind, but now coming back around, just kind of it helped me now start to see it in real life, and now it speaks to me just because of the basics. It's really dope.
Because you know when we meet, especially reading so many charts, right? Like both him and I read charts for a living, which is pretty dope. But it's like, you know, you start applying that to so many different personalities. You see it in so many combinations. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how many of y'all out there have been like, oh yeah, I'm an Aries, but I don't really resonate with it. And it's like, well, you got 9 earth signs inside of you. Of course you don't resonate with the Aries energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's those combinations that I think that really make each of us magical. And this is what I kind of hope that we can bring some clarity to today. So I'm gonna ask you off the rip. I guess we'll start with we'll start from the beginning, quote unquote. My man, what is the give me breakdown in 60 seconds in Aries. Just break it down.
Aries is the motherfucking one. The end.
Bam. I totally agree.
And I want to say more for Aries, but that's just Aries. It's instant. It's quick. It speaks for itself.
All right, boom. I'll take Taurus. So you get ready for Gemini. I mean, you gotta spill the bullets on yourself. Taurus is beyond slow. You know, low key, I think Taurus is the truth.
That's fine.
And you can even put that in a literal sense. Like if Scorpio is kind of like a pure soul, it's like I think Taurus is the truth because it's like it's so simple in its pleasures. Honestly, even if it overindulges, it's cool with that. It's like, look, it is what it is, homie. Like, you know, I like what I like, and this one of the things I think is dope about Taurus is like, you know, when they know what they want, when they do take a plan and play, they go ahead, they go get it. Like, there's nothing that's ever gonna stop a bull. You know, that's how I kind of look at it. It's like, if a bull decide, you can't move a bull on your own. If I think Taurus, so it's like, okay, that's that fixed nature behind it. But it's like, if a bull wanted to move and it wanted to hit a moving train, it can knock that train off its tracks. And that's kind of how I think of like Taurus. It's like, if it can set its sights on what it actually desires and get over some of the pettiness of like, I don't want to get out of my habits, then it can really be destructive in all the right ways. I mean, it is a feminine energy, so that's part destruction, but destruction is happening on the opposite of Scorpio being rebirth. Yeah. So there's my the basic on Taurus. What you got for Gemini, homie?
Hold on, that was just so amazing because Taurus's explanation was slow as fuck, and it took you over 60 seconds, which is so Taurus. Like Taurus, you're right. You need more than 60 for Taurus. Like, that was fucking beautiful. So Gemini, and Taurus is located the truth. Gemini is the truth, the messenger. Messenger means angel. So like the angels, the experience ruled by Mercury. If Virgo is numbers and Gemini's words. So Gemini says more than we have to say because we're language and we're communication and nervous system and all that shit. And blah, 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 blah.
Yo, can I chime on Gemini though? Because I found something very special about them that I think so many people be missing sometimes. I think people be playing Gemini because I think it's a little bit more misunderstood than I don't know. Like, what I'm kind of saying is like, I've learned that like with Gem, it's like, and I got this from my Gemini being in 8th house. So like as a Scorpio rising, like my Gemini is in 8th house, where it's like, it kind of like put me in a different space where I think I studied Gemini a lot without really knowing it, like AKA myself. And I learned it to be like the lungs of the zodiac, right? So it's like if we don't allow certain superficial conversations, not everybody's gonna be like a Scorpio, let's say, and just say, look, I want to go deep, I want to go raw, and I want to go intense, right? And so I found Gemini really is important. Like without it, I think no one would ever talk. I think that we would miss a lot of we would never a lot of people are not willing to go deep off the rip. So if we let that Gemini do its thing and kind of just be everywhere, there's a certain thing about it though. It's still mutable, right? So it's still a problem solver. It still brings all the pieces back together, even if it's not direct. It got to go all these different directions. But at the end of the day, it's a genius. It's a problem solver. It's a beast mode with money and investments and stuff like that. So it's like I think we got to always like put a little extra shine on Gemini. I think people be playing Geminis like they're not the truth.
Just like they be playing Aries like they're not the one. Yeah.
The best thing you ever said about Aries, that time we was on that last live when you were like, people would throw a rock and then they'd be like holding the rock behind their hand and then they just sitting there waving at you like, it wasn't me. That was my favorite Aries little pun because it makes so much sense, man. I kid you not.
My Mars and Aries taught me that. It was just so, it was dealing with all that frustration. I was like, oh.
So I was wondering about that one day too. How do you feel about your Mars being in Aries, but then having like a Earth moon and an Earth rising? How does this play for you?
Okay, so it's something I struggled with my whole life until I realized it's in the 12th house. So that's like masculinity being suppressed because Aries is the accelerator with Mars, but it squares Uranus and Saturn, which is like the brakes. So I got moon on Saturn. I grew up with women my whole life. My mom said you always have to respect women. You shouldn't be in a room alone with a woman. You shouldn't date women, right? Like that. So like that masculine urge is like constantly suppressed subconsciously. Like I'm now learning to free it. But that's how it's always been. Like square Uranus, I either take action at like the dopest time or like it's just awkward as fuck because like never in my life have I ever truly experienced my sexuality without simultaneously holding myself back. So it's not like other people where like they want to do something but they're nervous. Like I'll do it, but like I'm fighting myself to do it at the same time because Capricorn wants to be like, no, Aries, let it come to you. And Aries is like, no, I'm fucking gonna go. It's like it's been really frustrating, but I appreciate it because now I'm learning how to see like the wisdom in both elements. And also like because it's in the 12th as a Taurus rising, like if I was an Aries rising, I'd probably lead forward by taking the first move, but I'm a projector, I have to wait for the invite. So like that 12th house Mars is the last thing I do after Capricorn. It's still very interesting. Thanks for asking. It took me my whole life to understand that.
So this is amazing on two fronts. One, this is exactly why I had reached out and we were like, look, like let's go ahead and run this retreat because astrology, it's really all of our internal and external circumstances in our entire experience, right? Like it's not any one element. Like, and I think some of the mainstream forms of like Instagram type astrology, that might be a whole category of astrology, Instagram astrology. Just fucking yeah, IG astrology. But it's like, a horoscope is your entire birth chart, but
Yeah.
people think horoscope is just your sun sign. It's like, I think this is one of the big reasons why this retreat is really going to be major for people. It's like when you start understanding that, because what you said relates to me in a way where, right, I have an Aries stellium. Yeah. However, my Mars is run by Cancer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like, what the fuck?
That probably hurts.
Yo, I think I've studied myself so much. I love it now. Oh, I love it now. But I didn't love it. When I first found out about it, it made me depressed. If I'm being honest, I was like, yo, this is stupid. I was like, this is what this meant all my life. This is why I kind of had this like, pampered down, like part of my fire was pampered. Honestly, it was like putting it in a baby diaper and saying like, "Yeah, no, you can't go that way." And somebody asked, my Chiron's also in Cancer, so it's like it's also Cancer 8th house. My vertex is Cancer 8th house, so it's like
Mars, Chiron, Cancer. That's powerful. You're a powerful healer,
bro.
Wow.
Bro, and this is also why I've been chilling for the last 2 days, because I've been doing a lot of healing work with a lot of people, and I'm on recovery. I'm on pamper mode. So this is why I learned to love it though, because I had to start recognizing what my own personal emotional intelligence. I had to realize like, why did that play a part? You know what I'm saying? Like, and how did having emotional intelligence kind of put me in the space that I'm in as a therapist, as a healer. So when we start really working with it, it starts becoming your best friend. Even the things you think you hate about your chart, you start really loving it. I started loving it.
That's the best part. That is honestly the best part. It's like you just take your power back. And yeah, I mean, this is also going to be my very first retreat, and I'm excited. I've been reading this book, Intro to Astropsychology. It's part of the 2-year diploma program that I'm taking. And a lot of these principles have brought me back to basics. So like my ability to break into the archetype of like signs, like Aries being from 0 to 2, Scorpio representing from like age 35 to 44, where you start to get a sense of your mortality. It's just given me such a deeper love for astrology. And
it said Aries is 35, 30. Say that last part again.
Aries is 0 to 2 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a sense of omnipotence. It's like, it made me appreciate how like Gemini and Aries are childlike. So like Kanye West is in his 40s. Kanye 50s? No, Kanye West.
No. I was saying, I was just doing this like 7 years old. I think Gemini's like 7, but that's my guess.
Gemini is 7 to 2. Gemini is like 5 to 7. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Damn, I'm good. Okay, cool.
And Kanye is, in an older age, posting memes like a child would, and people don't understand that's why he's a fucking genius. Like we have like every Gemini has a child mind, every Aries is like a baby, and that's also what retains our youthfulness.
Yeah,
in old age too. So this is versus Aquarius children who at such a young age they think like old men or old women.
Yeah.
So it really keyed in so much about how to understand our psychological profile. 5 to 9 is the psychological developmental age method. Yes.
That's cool to know.
And then I think the answer is like 9 to 12, I believe, or 9 to like 15. But yeah.
So you know what's dope? So like I have an Aries stellium. Like
Taurus is 2 to 5. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So what's crazy about this? Like I had Aries stellium, or I have an Aries stellium, and I never used to understand. Like people are always like Aries are super duper creative, right? Yeah. But I didn't putting it back into the framework of 0 to 2 years old. It's like, okay, it's the creativity of a literal infant without any conditionings, right? Like there are no patterns yet, right? Like nothing has evolved. So it's like, I think this is what makes it I am. It's like it's discovering who I am.
Right. You don't retain memory until Taurus. So Aries is just pure consciousness.
That makes so much sense because, man, I tell you, I just be sometimes, I mean, again, as an Aries stellium, sometimes like I just push things forward off of pure excitement, and something crazy happens like every time. It's like, it's just like, I don't know how I did this, like, but this is kind of where, like, if you look at your charts where sextiles play in and trines, one of the things I learned that's so like beneficial to just bring back to the basics is these trines, these sextiles, always remember that sometimes these easy aspects go overlooked. They get overlooked because it's so natural to us, where I can see some positive strengths in, let's say, Ashley in here by looking at her sextiles, but she may not see herself because it comes so natural to her.
Right.
So just want to kind of bring that up. Where we at now? We Gemini, what's the next? Cancer?
Mm-hmm.
So from an age-wise, I always felt like Cancer was like 12. Kind of like a woman going through her PMS stage, if you will. And this is like where moodiness starts, right?
Cancer is 9 to 12, I believe.
9 to 12.
So like
Okay.
my progressed sun is like third decade Cancer, and so spiritually, I'm 12 years old. Like I'm going through puberty. I'm starting to gain sexual maturity. Like it's funny, right? But like dead ass. Like that's how it feels too. Like I have human years 32, but spiritually I'm 12. So like I'm learning stuff that people younger than me got and knew sex, but at their age, I didn't even know what sex was. I didn't even know what any of that was, and I could even go out. And now I know it's because I'm fucking 12 spiritually. And now I'm gaining my superpowers while I'm going through puberty. Like shit's crazy, bro.
Yo. So I'm gonna skip ahead based off what you said. What would you say about a fourth house Pisces?
Fourth house Pisces.
How would that person be in their youth?
So, oh, that's interesting. So, because I didn't even think to put the house in it. Fourth house Pisces. So Sag rising. That's the personality of an ascended being, and Sag is like in the 50s, like late 40s to 50s. So Pisces fourth house is really just showing where the fourth house takes place or where the Pisces takes place, which is now internalizing Pisces representing like not 80s to the end of your life. So that's having like a very transcendently mature understanding about your ancestry, and the approach you have to family is going to be one that sees everything as your family and your connection. This is very vital because everyone's fourth house is going to be so private to them. So I mean, I'm more saying this, asking you maybe if this is how you may experience it, because um once again, Pisces can apply to literally everything. But I would think in terms of, correct me if I'm wrong, since Pisces is like the oldest age, that might be your perception to how you treat family and your own private world and your home. Uh, but yeah, it's kind of interesting because I never thought to add the houses to it and how that would kind of.
So I had asked selfishly, I am a Scorpio rising, but at least in the Placidus, normally it would be a fourth house Aquarius, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I had a fourth house Pisces instead, and so I've always been curious because I kind of adopted both somehow, some way. Like when I look at it, like the fourth house applies if I use whole sign, and the Pisces fourth. I mean, I'm sorry, Aquarius fourth house and Pisces fourth house apply. Whether I use whole sign or Placidus, they kind of both apply to me. Like
They blend. It's like they blend. Yeah.
yeah, because there was like this Aquarian, like gotta grow up, gotta be progressive, right? Like bottom down teenager approach, like a little kid in it in a sense, but an adult having to be hella responsible and just know blah blah blah. But then there's that escapism side was really there of like I would feel the sensitivity, right? The
Yeah,
emotion
yeah.
so much that I would just retreat. I'd be off literally my own to the point where like I don't have a childhood memory. Like it's just not there. It's not there. Which
That's,
kind of plays more on that Pisces side for me. It's like, yeah, I just dipped out.
so do you have empty planets in your fourth?
Yep. No planets in my fourth.
So I don't have planets in my fourth, and I don't have childhood memories like that either.
That's
Like
really interesting. Because I'm telling you, I got like three, bro. I got like I used to think something was wrong. I was like, something wrong? Like I got nothing.
yeah. And it's like there's not that much focus on family towards other areas, like versus other people who have a lot of fourth house energy, and it's like they're all about tradition, they're all about family, they're all about, so which is not a bad thing. Like some people,
And this is what I think allows me to travel so much because I'll be honest, like it used to almost make me feel like something was wrong because like me and family, like I love them. I swear, I think I know I do, but it doesn't pull me though. It doesn't pull me to be like,
right.
I'm not
And my
like,
self notes in the fourth, so I have to like leave that too. It's like that can hold me back. So it's like
you have South Node in the fourth?
yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and how I actualize that is if I listened to what my family wanted me to do, I would not have this job. I'd be working a 9 to 5. I would have, had like a proper degree. Like I would. So it's literally the opposite of the success I've come into Now it's not bad. Like there's still positives I gained from that, but mainly it's like it really taught me a lot. It really taught me a lot.
So it's interesting you say that because I have the only way I can kind of apply the fourth, if you will. I have a Cancer South node in the eighth as well.
Oh,
I got
right.
so that's the only way that it can actually apply to me in that way. Where
Yeah.
when I learned that, I had so much relief, to be honest, because it was like, wait, so I'm stepping away from family. It started everything just was like because I didn't fit. It didn't fit. I could not fit the mold. It just didn't work. I would try, and it would just make me feel ugly inside. I'd be like, ugh, this is like, it's not me. It ain't me. I can't stay back.
No, for real. It's so interesting.
Oh shit! I don't think we actually taught Cancer. So we'll go Cancer and then Leo because we're in a Leo full moon. Is it today? No, it's today. Oh shit!
The moon just entered Virgo. It's 0 degrees Virgo.
Okay. Well, happy past moon, y'all.
It's 30 degrees Leo.
What's that?
Zero Virgo is 30 degrees Leo.
This is a fact. This is a fact. What's up, Ash? So, okay, we got like a 9 to 12-year-old being Cancer. All right. When I think Cancer, I found that the moodiness is misconstrued. It's not. I've learned that Cancers aren't necessarily moody because they're just, like, say, going through their menstrual cycle, going through puberty. It's more so because, you know, from a environmental standpoint, they pick up on the emotions, right? Let's like be like the first empath in the zodiac. Yeah. And it's like because of that, their moodiness is because they're empathically picking up on that energy, that emotional energy of people where when you're 9 to 12, you're picking up on energy from people. You don't really know what to do with it yet, right? It's like no one has taught you emotional intelligence. You don't have classes on psychology or none of that stuff at that age where you're just in this puberty stage and you feel so much emotion that you think it's yours. And I think what's key is this is also like the beginning of like gaslighting in a sense.
Yes.
Yeah. Cancer's the beginning of gaslighting, yo. It's like
Cancer, my heart goes out to y'all. Like,
yo,
and as a Gemini, I used to gaslight Cancers unconsciously too. Like, I used to gaslight the shit out y'all because they would just talk about feelings, and then I'd want to be in my head like, I don't know what you're talking about. So, as a progressed Cancer, it's happening to me, and now I pretend to care about y'all because I don't like being gaslighted too. Cancer, I feel y'all though.
I can't lie to you. With a Mars in Cancer, I be feeling that sometimes because like I'm a triple Aries, yo. It's like so that Mars in Cancer, that junk used to really play with me. I'm like, yo, I really don't care that much, and it's like, yes, you do.
Yes, you do. No, but see that dude, and that's what I hate because I have the moon in Capricorn. So every day it's the perpetual war. Like you care? No, I fucking don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care.
So here's what's magical though. Here's what's magical. Sometimes I always have to bring it back with Cancer to the fact that it's still an individual sign, right? It's still one of the first 4 zodiacs.
Still an individual sign, yeah.
And I think this is where it gets confusing a little bit, right? Because people think, oh, Cancer, taking care of everybody, being sweetheart, yada. It's like, no, Cancer's a savage. Cancer's an absolute savage, yo. People be getting them twisted, yo.
50 Cent is a Cancer, bro.
Yo, I always think 50. I'm like, 50 is a killer, bro. Like, he's a killer.
He has the Grim Reaper Saturn on his son, the business Saturn on his son, and he made $100 million selling water. Cancer.
Yeah. Vitamin water. That's wild. That's wild.
Yes.
I always think that. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And when I was younger, I couldn't understand it, right? Like having a Mars in the 8th house and then in Cancer, this is like the Chris Brown placement. It's like when you push a 9 to 12-year-old kid over the edge, right? And it's like, again, I got an Aries triple stellium. This equated to a lot of fights. It was just like a lot of fights happened in my youth because none of that emotional stuff was able to be controlled, quite frankly, or even recognized. It was just like, you did me wrong, you gotta die.
Damn.
Period.
Right.
What's this right here?
Oh, this is the developmental age.
So
we have Leo, which is 14 to 20. Leo, of course. Right. I got out the chart real quick. I just wanted to reference the ages right quick, but we see Leo is basically the opening of the heart, and it's courage, it's conventionally seen as love, it's energy, it's royal, it's Brittany, bitch. No, that's Sagittarius. But yeah, Leo is, I like developmentally, where we start to now going through high school develop a consciousness outside of our family. It's kind of where rebellion begins, and we start to discover what we really like outside of what we've been conditioned to feel in family, and we start to express our repressed emotions, and kind of develop now an identity, removing yourself from the family and becoming an individual.
So what about the fixed nature in Leo? What is that about?
That's about being a diva and not giving a fuck what anybody else cares about what you love. We call see, but this coolest thing I learned is that Leo is literally not, and everyone has Leo in their chart, so everyone is a narcissist. But it's about not being having narcissistic personality disorder. But yeah,
That one thing I like about Leo, even like this full moon that just passed up, is kind of like I think there is I talked to you about this before, even with Aries. I think Aries like the entry into it, but I think Leo kind of continues it. It's like because they're both right. Aries exalted in the sun, Leo dignified in the sun, right? So it's like they're. I think Leo really is so critical because it's like if you don't honor your own rebellion within yourself, you feel me? It's like what are you here for? What are you really doing in life if you're not gonna honor the parts of yourself that's unique, the parts of yourself that's able to literally lead a revolution with your heart? For me, that's good energy. Narcissistic or not, it's like I think that narcissism is like, look, it exists, but I think there's a difference with being selfish, which I think Leo in its let's say more prime, it's selfish, but in a healthy way. And it's
right.
prime.
It's self love. It's loving yourself in that sense.
Exactly. Exactly. Because it's like you think about Leo, it's like, all right, you got the heart of the sun. What is around the sun? Nothing but space and blackness, just darkness. So it's like everything knows where the light is at. All the dark entities know exactly where the light is at.
Aquarius and 8th house Pisces. You just expertly described that. Thank you so much. That was so lit. That was so lit. I love that. And to answer your question too, like I think the fixed nature of Leo is like dancing. Because like now that I'm thinking of it, you're centered in the heart. It takes that Aries impulse, and then because I've always seen Sagittarius dance, but I realized
no. Sag don't dance; they twerk. There's a difference.
Sag is like the choreography, like yeah, flamethrowers, my man. They do twerk. But then I feel like Leo is like the central, like deuce. I don't even know why I'm doing that, but like everything has its component, right? And Libra is now like dancing with other people, I guess, but like, yeah.
So I can speak on personal experience in this. I can speak personal experience. So I didn't tell people yet, but my Aries is 5th house stellium.
Oh.
Yeah, sun, moon, Mercury. And when I tell you what I didn't know back in the day when I would go clubbing and stuff, what I didn't know then that I can see now, the Leo dance, it's like, it's really not for anyone else. I used to always remember I would be basically busting my ass on the dance floor, but I would always find my own little spot. And it seemed like my eyes would just be closed. But then when I would open my eyes, it'd be this ring of people around me. And I'm like, when did I create a dance circle? Like I literally was dancing in this spot by myself. So I think, literally think of the ring. I think fixed energy with the ring, where it's the individual at the end of the day.
You just confirmed basically you can be on your own in a dance floor, dance, and then it's full. Like people just like that's so fucking lit. That's
literally. And I
so
think this is the tribe aspect. This is the tribe aspect of Leo. Like
Leo is like the bonfire.
Boom. But it starts its own fire and others come.
It's social. It promotes social activity because now people talk in the bonfire. It brings people together, and that's the importance of Leo. Like I don't have Leo, so like I'll get Mars and Aries, like oh butterfly, and that's it, and that's it, and I will never get passionate, and that's it. Like I don't have that much, but Leo can sustain that and work out for like the whole day, and I'm so jealous of you, motherfuckers. Well, yes.
That makes a lot. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about that.
My shit's
Wow.
random. I'll just get random Aries impulses for like 5 seconds, and then that's it. Because that's the only thing I have in fire. Like I don't have anything in fire but Mars, and then it's hidden in the 12. So like I don't even like identify it. I love it. It's cool, but like it made me appreciate fire signs so much more, like Leo and Sag, because like they take it to a whole nother level. Even Aries, because Aries with the sun there. I made the realization before, like the Leo sun is the strongest aspect in astrology. Like there's certain aspects, if you have Venus in Libra, you have to thank your lucky stars. If you have the sun in Leo, you're legit. That is the strongest. There's nothing stronger than that. And I realized I was like, the only other sign that can talk shit is Aries, because Aries has his exalted. And so Aries is like, I'm the one, bitch. I'm exalted here. And Leo's like, whatever, bitch. I'm still me. And that's and you kind of see it in real life too, where it's like, you know what I'm saying? And then Sagittarius comes through and just burns shit up like, no, bitch, I'm ascended and whatever. But I feel like it's really between Aries and Leo in the fire sense.
I gotta make a funny comment because I'm gonna tell you this. I want to see what people think in the comments as well. The most amazing sex that you can ever have is the combination of an Aries and a Leo, because they just go at it.
There's some science to support this. So I actually thought it was Leo and Sagittarius, but Aries and Leo make sense too, because that's the original like first, fifth house axis, like that.
Because they both have their own selfish nature. You know, Sag doesn't really care. Like I think the most I don't give a fuck sign in the zodiac is Sagittarius. I really feel like they don't care.
They're the wildest. They're the wildest.
Yep. They're just buck wild, bro. Like as a triple fire sign, like with a Leo placement as well, I be looking at Sag sometimes like, what happened to you? I think Leos and Aries look at Sagittarius like, yo, what happened?
Bro, that is our op. That's our open enemy. Imagine the wildest nigga in the room is your op. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. That's our partner side. Like shit. It is what it is.
Yo, I'm telling you, my roommate was a Sag, and like he was just wild, bro. He was always calm until he did that one thing. Like, bro, what the
out of nowhere for no reason.
For no reason. It makes no sense. And it's just like it's so over the top. Bro, like we'd be driving, he would just back up and hit somebody's car, and he'd look back like, oh well. And he would
yes!
Yo, he would just drive off. Like, wait, he had no remorse. He had no care in the world. And he did it a lot. He would hit people's car all the time.
Just like purposefully obnoxious too. Just like not seeing the cues on purpose. Like, whatever, bitch. You're not gonna do anything. Let's keep going. Like,
I see Alka Rose saying I love my Sag. Are you dating a Sag? Can you tell us something about it in the chat?
God.
Yeah. Wow, this is I'm having a lot of fun.
Or anyone you know been victimized by a Sagittarius? Please follow this number.
Yo, Sag is the, if you look in the, I don't always fully understand this, but at least in the asteroids, like my Eros, I have a Sagittarius in the first house, and I think this is a little bit of my rambunctious nature.
I love it. I think we're on Virgo.
All right, who's on this one?
That's all you.
Bet.
Oh, and
when I think Virgo, I always kind of like bring it to like simplify it. What's the age group on this? 20 to 27. Okay, that makes sense. So when I look at Virgo, I always try to simplify it with the small intestines. Like this is like one of my more like recent like addictions to explaining Virgo, and it's like, all right, when you put everything in your body, Virgo now decides, which is the body, right? Like your day-to-day health, how you take care of your body, which leads to your mental health in Pisces or the lack of it. And it's like, if you don't take care of your body, your mental health suffers in Virgo. And it's like, beyond that, it's like filtering everything out. So when I think small intent, it's like, it can take in all this information, all this stimulus, all the food, everything. And it gets rid of everything that does not exist. And its ability to critique all the small details, which
Yeah.
applies back now to like human existence. Like, wow, they're so critical. They got all the, they're like so anal about X, Y, and Z. And it's like, without the small intestines, you would die from toxins and poisons. So it's like Virgo's role in the game is critical. On top of that, it's like Virgo is the type of work you put in to make the money. So it's like, if you're looking at your career in the 10th house, it's like that's not where your money's being made. The chicken's being made with the groundwork that Virgo puts in the 6th house. So wherever your 6th house sits, understand this is how your day-to-day work is going to look to make the chicken before you show up publicly and then get your gains in the 11th house. So I think Virgo is straight beast mode. And on top of that, just for like a funny note, I love the fact that Virgos will remember everything you like in any dating type relationship, and they will love to give you that service, whatever that is. They remember it and they deliver it, and I love it.
No, and 20 to 27 is when we now start to find our way in the work environment and be of service and master a craft. It's what Virgo taught me is that, wow, like there's even racism in astrology, because it taught me that we need to be discriminating, we need to be judgmental, and we need to be able to discern class, because Capricorn is classism, racism, Taurus is judgmental, being judgmental, and Virgo is discrimination, because that's the ability to sort. So I just kind of, it's interesting. Opposite Virgo is unity in Pisces, and a lot of Pisceans are, we need to get along, versus Virgos that are like, we need to honor the differences between us and notice facts. It was very fascinating. Libra is, of course, the classics. I feel like everything that people hate about Aries leads to you, but they're so charming that you don't care. You don't even notice. You can just demonize Aries for it. And same with Gemini Sag. It's actually crazy. Libra is that cold because they're ruled by goddess Venus. So they charm you. And my bad. So yeah, Libra is 27 to 35. This is where during this age, I'm in the Libra age, people start to develop more meaningful friendships versus like the Leo era where it's like, hey, let's party, dude. Hey, let's have a classy, elegant meetup where we can date and get to know each other. This can start to be more mature or not. But yeah, this is the sign of the classics, balancing. You know what? People are the cold motherfucker. They're so powerful that even the most powerful zodiac sign looks up to them. Capricorn has them in their 10th house. And I realized that they maintain the balance. Libra taught me that you don't have to be the most powerful. You don't have to be the strongest. It's about who you know. It's about being in the right place. They're next to Scorpio and they're next to Virgo. They have the central position. Their beauty, okay, their justice. So because they hold accountable Capricorn, which is authority and power, they're the reason why government authorities can't be corrupt, because they have a check and balance. They have a judicial branch to check them, and they restore the balance. So what I realized in the 8th house dynamics is Capricorn is the most powerful power, but the only thing that can ether Capricorn, Saturn and Cap, is the Sun in Leo, the 8th house. And so that teaches you that the power of love is stronger than the most robotic, like authoritarian control. My Cap moon is like, oh, I don't have Leo, like I'm all that control freak out. Cool. And then Leo is the sun that everything revolves around. And the 8th house of Leo is Pisces, where the sun can supernova and everything in the solar system will be destroyed, but there's a whole universe that still exists. And that's what makes Pisces supreme. And Pisces would have been the overlord that would just deceive people, dark side of Pisces, with illusion. But logic, and this is how Pisces, Libra is the coldest. Pisces is 8th house Libra. Libra restores the balance to bring everything together. Libra is the logic to hold Pisces' imagination in check. And then, of course, the series starts with Taurus, 8th house in Libra, Sag, 8th house in Taurus, and then Cancer, 8th house in Sag, and then Aqua, 8th house in Cancer, and then Virgo, 8th house in Aqua, and then Aries, 8th house in Virgo, and then Scorpio, 8th house in Aries, and then Gemini, 8th house in Scorpio, and then Capricorn, 8th house in Gemini, and then back to Leo. And that's like that whole balance that only is enforced because of Libra. And so Libras seek to balance everything, which is why they're secretly neurotic and they have to take a lot of drugs, dealing with people. I'm sorry, and they have to deal with people because, yeah, they're superheroes. Leo and Libra are the superheroes, Sagittarius, which makes, I guess, Gemini and Aries villains and Aquarius. Okay, well, I don't know. But I guess we can be heroes too.
Yo, I like the perspective on the Libra because people do be playing Libras. I think people play every sign they don't understand. It's like, yeah, like Libra had. I think the thing about Libra that people always need to remember is that the opposite is Aries. So it's like whenever y'all think Libras are pushovers, understand that they're definitely the worst ones. They're worse than the Aries because at least with Aries, you know what you got, right?
You
like
know what
you know what you got. With Libra, it's like when they rip your shit, it's like you're done.
Know, they did it with a smile. Like Aries will at least let you know to your face you fucked up, and they will be sure. Libra, you won't know. Like they'll just be like, "Oh, what's up, buddy?" And you're done though. Like they fucked you up already. Like,
yeah,
they're cold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Their cut game will have you wondering what did you do wrong 5 months later. You're
5
like
months later, right?
Yeah.
How good when we were together. Like we just had an amazing conversation. Like I had no idea. They just cut me off already. Holy shit.
I kid you not. When I know when Libras and Aries get together, we always have a ball. I can't lie to you. Like we have a ball. Like they're like the best hype men. Like when I get Libras around me, I had a lot of Libra stellium. I did a reading with a girl recently. She had like a Libra stellium, and she commented on one of my videos while I was dancing, and she was like the best hype woman ever. And I'm like, yes, Libra, go ahead. So we're at Scorpio. I see somebody say, I'm a Scorpio rising with the Pisces 4. I've always had this key. Thanks for the bang. You're welcome for sure. That's what we're here for. What's the age of Scorpio?
44 to 54.
44 to 54. That's strange, but it makes sense, right? Because okay, now you think of feminine energy in Scorpio, it's like women start really coming into their more lustful stages with actually taking action as they age, right? It's almost like when like men kind of get less and less sexually aggressive and women become more and more aggressive in that sense, like than in their youth. They stop caring so much about other people. And I think this is where like sex is part of the Scorpio's house, right? But not only that, but like that death rebirth process, bang, she just hit me. That's the midlife crisis, right? It's like, all right, I went through this. I got my kids through college, right? And I'm now in this age bracket of Scorpio where I need to die. I literally need my habits, everything that I knew, everything that I was attached to, my resources that I share with my ex-husband or my ex-wife, okay, 8th house resources, Scorpio, all those resources, I need those things to basically come to a close and close out these contracts because I need to come into my new life. This is my midlife crisis basically with Scorpio. And so this is the classic death rebirth process. And it's also the point where I look at Scorpio related to the heart chakra, where it's like there's a lot of forgiveness of themselves that they have to go through during those phases because it's like, man, they realize at their midlife, I let a lot of bullshit in that I saw up front. I saw all this, but I let it in. I shared my resources. I got locked into these soul ties. And, you know, that break apart, that death rebirth for me, this is where like I got to forgive myself, part heart chakra, purification. So that's kind of how I see in at least the 4-minute wrap up of Scorpio, part of their role, and really more so preparing to integrate all their pains, all their traumas, so that they can teach, which is now going back to Peace Dealer.
Sagittarius, which we see is 44 to 54. So, as we'll mention in Capricorn, I didn't realize, I saw someone said, especially for the average man, a man does not reach their financial peak until their 50s. I just realized this. Like I didn't know that. It's like being 25 twice, right? And so Sag, but specifically Capricorn of success is where now in Sagittarius, after you've accepted your mortality and you've gained so much experience being you. I mean, this is after certain people may have had a couple marriages or you know, either have had a marriage or through Scorpio divorced or whatnot. Now they're able to really explore more the higher meaning of their being, hence stepping more into a philosophical nature of your life, not being a child philosophizing, but having a lifetime's worth of experience as you prepare for retirement and later adulthood. Uh, Truly, a Sagittarius is golden. This is ascending into the golden years of your life, having so much higher perspective that you can look at your life since birth, see where you've gone, and literally aim at where you're going to go. Because Sagittarius prepares you for Capricorn, where we now start to step into all of our accomplishments, which is 54 to 65. Damn. And literally aim at where you're going to go. Because Sagittarius prepares you for Capricorn, where we now start to step into all of our accomplishments. 54 to 65. And literally aim at where you're going to go. Because Sagittarius prepares you for Capricorn, where we now start to step into. We can't. He's in the 12th house.
Say it again.
Oh no, we're on Capricorn.
Oh, I don't know what you said. 12th house. I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh no, my bad. Because she said someone explained Biden, but we're in the 12th house. We can't. He's in the 12th house. He's unexplainable. He has dead people vote for him. He's a genie.
He's 12th house Sag?
Yeah, he's a mythological transcendent demon lord.
Yo, 12th house Sag always I've been coming across it a little bit more and more. I haven't really dived into like what 12th house Sag means exactly.
12th house Scorpio, you mean?
No, Sagittarius in the 12th house.
Oh, he's a 12th house Scorpio. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, yeah. He's a demon.
Yeah, exactly. He's a demon lord king, transcendent. Like he's a stronger demon lord than most. Oh yes.
Bro, my Pluto's in the 12th house, and it's conjunct my Scorpio ascendant, and that junk is buck wow. It is such a pain in the ass until it's not, and then sometimes it's great, and then other times it's like most times it's like, yo, you don't make any sense. An ascendant vampire lord.
Yeah, like 12th house Scorpios are actually the highest transcendent nature of ascended purity. It's just because most people are evil as fuck, they're usually corrupted demon lords. So it's that legendary. Like in a 1 in a billionth chance, you'll meet a 12th house Scorpio that's like pure. It's just weird. We don't live in a pure world, so they usually get corrupted and turn evil as fuck.
So I'm gonna put myself on the spot. I'm gonna put myself on the spot.
Or they transform like the Phoenix and become out of the dark Scorpio into the Phoenix, but they all evil as fuck. No,
I'm gonna put myself on the hot seat. So a Scorpio rising conjunct Pluto in the 12th house Scorpio. What comes to mind? What's the first that comes to mind?
Okay, so Scorpio rising with Pluto to the 12th, I see that as like, first of all, you're an instrument of Pluto. So the way I kind of see that is different from having Sag rising and your Pluto in the 12th house. So because you're Scorpio rising, Pluto that's behind your AC is still an element that you identify with. You're still an instrument of this Plutonian energy, right? But in the 12th house, right? Let's say you had Venus or Pluto there, right? Anything that's in front of the AC is what you're showing people. It's like you have this extreme alluring presence to you. Anything behind the AC is Clark Kent. You have the hoodie on. It's like you don't want people to know you have this Hades instrument. It's subtle. It's still a part. It's not the same as being a Sag rising, and it's completely hidden. That's what it kind of taught me. So it's pretty lit.
Bad.
But I still honor the 12th house aspect of it too. And now see, a lot of people don't understand. Scorpio is kind of like Itachi. So because people literally demonize evil, people don't understand that like Scorpio, the dark side of Scorpio is that side that God said, hey, I need you to do evil shit for me. you are so pure. I need you to do the dark shit for me. Like someone has to do dark, someone has to do light. So there's certain evil shit that Scorpio kind of has to do. And that doesn't make sense to the conscious, like, and it's not really for justification. It's just the nature of the energy. It's kind of like how a scorpion will always sting you. You can't be mad if a scorpion stings you because it fucking stings you. So it's sometimes God will send Scorpio to be evil to evil people too. It's weird. So like that.
Yo,
that
so this is wild that you say this because, you know, this last 2 days, like I told you, my last 2 days, I've been like, I went from like, I was like, wow, and then so much great thing, and then the last 2 days I've been like on recovery, and some of that last 2 days has kind of been because, and this happened multiple different times, mind you, I have Pluto in Scorpio 12th house, and it's on my ascendant, and so it came to me, and I was like, you know what, God, sometimes you really piss me off, bro, because I always catch up with like these moments I got used as a vessel to like smite other, let's say, dark forces, but it's like I didn't agree to this. Like I didn't consciously accept this.
Consciously. Yeah.
It's just like that. I swear to God, it's just like that. It's like, yo, like, why did you have to show me who I thought was really such a good person, that they really were a shit person? But why do you have to use me in the way that you did it to do that? And it'd be mind blowing because I'm always also blessed along the process. Yeah. Like it's also like I get the gifts along the process where God's also like, yeah, I know I did you dirt, bro. So I'm gonna throw you this bone that is gonna make sense when it makes sense. It's gonna make sense at the right time.
And I feel like Scorpio has so much compassion, right? Like that's that Scorpio and like the wisdom, right? I feel you just described what I go through as Capricorn, where like it wasn't until years later I realized, oh yeah, I'm just using you as bait so that you attract all this negativity. And now there's a part of me that's like, why didn't you tell me that? I don't want to feel uncomfortable like this. And the Capricorn's like, I know, bitch. That's why I didn't tell you. And you don't get a bone. Here's a crumb, bitch. And I'm using it. It's like, my bad. So it's just hard to really. So to hear you say that like that, it's like,
yo,
okay,
that's how I've been. Yo, so now I don't get as pissed about it. I used to get when I first started discovering this. I was getting really pissed off. I would like had like these angry talk with God, and then eventually I started recognizing, all right, P, you know what? There's not too much reason to be bitter because if you look at the aftermath, you're winning, and you're winning really big. It's like you can't really deny this right now. So Capricorn. Okay, so you went from Sag, Caps, like height of success, right?
Just really quick to highlight what you said, because what Pernell and me just highlighted in some of your charts too, especially if your sun is below every other part of your chart and you have other personal or outer planets higher than your consciousness. What we highlighted is your own unconscious or subconscious's ability to pace your conscious experience, where inner facets of yourself could know how you would react to something. Like if I knew I was being used as bait and would be put into uncomfortable situations, I wouldn't willingly go into those situations. But my subconscious was able to trick my conscious to use like that in those kind of ways, just kind of let you know how genius your own subconscious is. So
yeah. Yo, what you just explained is actually the elephant, right? It's like the wisdom of the elephant. It's like it is unstoppable, right? But there's a certain wisdom that to the mystery of the elephant where it will sometimes put obstacles in its own path to redirect. And it's like an innate wisdom that's just like it's protecting you up front. You don't really know.
Yeah.
But when it's misunderstood, it basically misunderstands fate.
Right.
Because you just said it. Like I'd be like in these situations, like if I knew up front, I wouldn't have went. Like here's a prime example. I bought a ticket to Mexico. I found out that my ex-lady is literally in the same roof, right? I wouldn't have went there if I knew such a thing. Mexico City's 22 million people. Wow, I wouldn't do it. But God be playing games. And the magic of it was I passed the test. I figured it out. So let's go to Cap. Start watching yourself, playing yourself and shit. Yo, that just be true. So Cap is kind of like I think Cap be getting some smoke that it doesn't always really deserve.
Can I interrupt you?
What's up?
Can I interrupt you there?
Do it.
Capricorn getting smoke it doesn't deserve is like when Facebook puts out another protocol and then everyone blames Zuckerberg as if Zuckerberg even gives a fuck. Zuckerberg is sipping a Mai Tai. Like he probably didn't even like put the. It's probably his administration that did it. You blaming him. So I just learned.
He not. Yeah. He not dealing with it. He
but
not
he
dealing with
had
it.
to take responsibility because
Exactly.
Capricorn. I was like, oh shit. Okay.
Exactly. Because it's the face, right? It's the actual reputation.
Right.
So Elaine at the third level within the company is not responsible. Only the face, who is the reputation of Facebook. It's Zuckerberg. So you're absolutely right.
Right. Which at the same time is why they talk to him, because he still has to take responsibility, right? No one cares about the rest of the workers. It's you allowed this to happen. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Right. Because you hire. That's the thing. This is the piece of Saturn and responsibility and basically being disciplined in what your responsibilities are, right? From like top down. That's the thing. Like I've learned, like with Saturn, you got Aquarius and Cap, but Cap's like top down approach of structured discipline, and Aquarius is like progressive and it's like bottom up. It's like it's literally building from the bottom up. Where when I learned that piece, it kind of like changed the game for me, understanding the two things, the elements of Saturn. So
I used to think they were fake for that. I used to think Capricorn was fake. Like like it's only now that I had my Saturn return that I understood Travis Scott getting dropped from endorsements or the Kardashian show. Before I would have been like, that's fake as hell. But now I realize it's not that Capricorn cares, it's that they have to do it because they've crunched the numbers. It's like, look, we have nothing against you, but you have all this bad publicity around your name. It can't be attached to our brand. Like, it's just going to be bad. And we have nothing against you, but you need to get the fuck out of here. Like, we have to fight like
yeah.
It is. And it's cold-hearted, right? But it's still bottom line. It's not Cancer that's like, okay, I understand. It's like, look, we understand. We get money too. So peace, bitch. Like, it is what it is.
you really wrapped Cap perfectly. It's like they gotta crunch the numbers, right? They have to use what they have in their resources. They're looking to maximize that stuff, right? It's like if Virgo filtered it out at that level, Cap's at the height. It has all the analyzed papers, right? It has all the data and it says, look, data don't lie, daddy. This is where we're at with the whole thing, and this is how we're gonna go.
We'll let some time go over, and we may fuck with you later.
So the only other thing, I guess, before we move to Aquarius about Cap would be the family element. Understand as well that the savage nature behind the Capricorn type energy and how it uses its resources and the data that it has analyzed from Virgo is like, look, this is for legacy, point blank, period. And it's like, none of y'all are more important than my son's son's son. None of y'all are more important than my daughter's 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 daughter. So y'all can hate me up front right now. You know, you can hate me now, but like I had a client I was working with, and like she's just at that big wealth, that Capricorn type wealth, and it's like the simplicity of it. She's like, look, I was a monster. She said it. She's like, I was a CEO monster. She said everybody hated me, and I didn't care. She literally is like, I didn't care. She's like, I did what I needed to do for my children and their grandchildren and their grandchildren. And we're
but
all
you know what I love about that, and this is what the house has taught me. It taught me that Aries is the first house. Aries and Aries sun outwardly is selfish, right? But Capricorn is actually the most selfish because hidden, what they show you is, oh no, we got to look out for everyone, which they do. But their fourth house is Aries. So who they are within is actually Aries. But they, of course, show it in a certain way. But it taught me a lot because Aries is selfish, but they're actually generous. Aries is actually more generous because inside they're Cancer. So they actually care a lot more versus Cancer that looks emotional, but inside they're Libra, like they don't really care as much as you think they do. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
And if you apply that 0 to 2 years old type of generosity, right, that means the love that they give is not transactional.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And so this is where they stay pure with what they give versus looking for certain conditions to be put on what they give, like AKA expecting something back in return.
Like a favor. Yeah.
This is again what been my last like 2 days. I started recognizing I'm like, damn, like how many people in my life have, again, I'm a triple Aries, and I'm like, fuck, like it kind of burns a little bit when I start recognizing how many people in my life from a transactional standpoint, and basically putting out contracts that I didn't consciously accept, right? It's just like back in, now we got to start slashing. Like y'all should have told me about this. I would have been generous with the next move. So you got Aquarius.
That's what's up. So Aquarius is 65 to 77. And what you want to notice is that the duration gets longer because when you're young, it's like time moves super slow, but the older you get, the faster time just like goes by, right?
Yeah.
I see like an exponential movement here. So Aquarius is kind of like after we start to detach from the accomplishments and reputation and aspects of the world, and we start to kind of prepare to transcend our humanity and to really see who we're connected to. This is a humanitarian sign, but Aquarius, of course, so there's the way Aquarius is defined traditionally, because you have to remember a lot of the way people understand things is based on how Western psychology and science, right? So Aquarius is actually nothing that nobody really knows. Aquariuses are overlords. They're evil geniuses. Aquarius, in essence, is outside of everything that's real. So, like, and it took me my whole life to realize that. This is knowledge. So it's all of the cosmic energy that now, with the universe being mental, is the higher facet and causal realm of the consciousness that we perceive here and where thoughts come from. So Aquarius is every single Aquarius knows. And there's a lot of them that walk around like Aquarius now treats socialization reversed. This is what Pisces do. This is why I don't trust them because like
Aquarius, right?
Aquarius and Pisces are very subtle because you won't notice but these people will walk up to you and ask you questions like, oh, so what's this and what's that? And the fact that these motherfuckers already know, so you're already a weirdo because you're asking people questions that you know the answer to, and you're making people think that you don't know shit, but you know everything. And you say shit like, I don't know everything. And they're saying, no, you do. You're not listening. Like when I learned this shit, I was like, oh shit, Aquarius is an evil genius. Like these motherfuckers exist for real. Like, oh shit. Like I read these motherfuckers in comic books. Like, holy shit. And The Weeknd is in a comic book now. Like he has his own Marvel imprint. I was like, oh shit.
Bro, Aquarius is next level evil on that front because I tell you, when I first came into the whole twin flame journey, it was an Aquarius involved in what?
Oh, dude, no way.
Yo, but what they were doing, what I didn't recognize then, they were training that Pluto 12th for me and that Scorpio ascendant. Because think about it, like they literally, like somebody said, the friend of God. They were literally they were testing me in my purity to such an extent that's like the disrespect was next level, but it was also super Aquarian too, right? So it's like it's not even always tangible.
That means you're advanced because like my portal was Capricorn, which is like the final boss before the final boss. Aquarius is next level. So like for you to have to go through that year and on top of that, yeah, the highest octave of love is friendship, Aquarius. This is where it's the energy of cool, opposite Leo, which is awesome. So I speak of these signs being evil, but the purity of all these signs, obviously, I wouldn't even say are positive as much as they are just whatever. And it's interesting because a lot of what we see as conventionally evil is actually not evil at all. Like if we existed in the ancient times, there's a lot of shit that flies there that we would look at as crazy and evil, but that's just how they live. Like that's just, it wasn't necessarily evil as much as that's just where they were at the time. So like, that's where once we step into Aquarius and Pisces, like there's so much unconventional natures to those signs. I would say like 99.99% of Aquarius and Pisces is not even understood or acknowledged because it doesn't make sense in society.
Yeah, or even to the human consciousness.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't now to the human consciousness. You had said something earlier in this chat, and this brings me back to the. Like I have my Saturn's in Aquarius 3rd house, and it kind of brings me to that. And like that was some of the lessons, like me learning how to use those 3rd house skills, kind of like that unconventional Aquarian would, right? Like including tech, including astrology, like how to go ahead and take my own language form. So we got Pisces, where Saturnian and ruin, and now it's supposed to be positive. Yeah. Yeah. Pisces. Who got Pisces? Oh crap.
Yep.
What a big job.
70 to death or end of age or to 90.
What is it? 80?
77 to 90 or end of age.
Or end of age, aka infinite, right? So like that's the first thing about Pisces is like is infinite. When I think Pisces, what I think more than anything else, first things first is ethereal, right? Like I'm like I think of Pisces as like Pisces is the tree, no different than it is me, no different than it is, you know, a burger. No, like it's literally all things at the same time.
Yeah.
Dimensions, different reality, alternate, all of it, right? Star systems, all of it. And so when I try to think about what is their purpose here and why do they make sense but don't make sense here, I think that Pisces is the unconditional love element. Okay. When we get past the Aquarian Pisces, when we get past the Aquarian type of love being friendship, right? Like that ultimate form of love being friendship, it's kind of like, what's up, Glam? It's kind of like Pisces now is taking all those elements and saying, look, now we no longer have an ego. So all the friends and all your networks from Aquarian, you got past that. Now all of us doesn't have an ego. This is where unconditional love really, really lies at that last stage where, again, it's no longer transactional, right? It's like, look, you can't really kind of undercut X, Y, and Z because I understand. Like literally, like I am the dream, right? Pisces, like I am the dream. I do understand. So there's no longer a need without that ego element to the Pisces or Piscean people. There's no longer a need to manipulate through any lies or deceit. Even though, again, in their toxicity, can they? Absolutely. And no one would ever know. You can never really catch a Pisces.
Because they play
them, you know?
Like Pisces is the most divine vibration, and that's why it's one of the most sinister. Because if you distort that trust, you finesse the whole world. And I mean, yeah, Pisces will give you the shirt off their back, everything. Like it's not transactional. It's like you can have everything, and I'll do it all over again. And that's why I feel like they can also be some of the most taken advantage of people because.
I mean, it's kind of like yes and no, though, right? Because like Pisces is like where karma kind of comes to its end. So it's like you never really can hurt them, right? It's like you're the one really hurting yourself. Like their karma that comes back, they're gonna go up, and you're gonna go to somewhere that you don't want to be. So, you know, at the end of the day, they're only really revealing our own subconscious at the end, right? Like that's 12th house. They're forcing us to surrender when you go ahead and meet them, but to the human consciousness, yes, there's that element to them that's really freaking scary, if I'm being honest. Like Pisces scare me a little bit out of all the zodiacs. I think Pisces is really, if they're in their toxicity, it's one of the scariest zodiacs because there's no real end. It's infinite to what they're willing to do.
Remember what I said to Scorpio, where Scorpio kind of has to be dark? Pisces is that to the infinite degree. So like Pisces is now transcendent beyond the concept of right and wrong. They're the only dual zodiac sign other than Gemini. So Gemini has that dark and light twin, right? Gemini shows you there's a duality, everyone has a dark side. But people forget that Pisces is dual too. And the dual nature of Pisces is never understood by people because like Pisces sometimes will just do things that doesn't make sense, and it makes them misunderstood because they're looking at reality from behind the veil. So they're going to shit on what you believe is right or wrong because they have to remind you it doesn't really matter. And like Pisces just could be kind of frustrating because sometimes they may have to be the channel through which you experience a lesson through some evil shit. And like it's kind of crazy. It doesn't excuse like the toxicity that you see in Pisces, but it in Virgo is so karmic of a zodiac sign that sometimes like the meme said Gemini is the villain, but Pisces is the real villain. Sometimes Pisces kind of has to be pure evil, right? Because that's what the experience calls for. It's really strange though, because that doesn't conventionally make sense.
I think what's critical about this is like, you know, the human mind can't even really understand Aquarian type consciousness. So we really, it's like us trying to say that we really understand 5D. Like, it's just not real. You don't. We're not that evolved yet. That's a personal opinion, but it's like, how much can you really understand of everything and all thing? I think that is the ultimate form of narcissism, right? It's like, can you really? So,
Yeah.
hey, I guess we'll bring this to a wrap. If there's any questions, a good time to ask. But what I'll say for now is, retreat wise, if you guys are looking to understand a little bit more about yourself and be able to apply this in its combinations, okay, as well as doing different modalities of healing that I've learned, like he kind of said, I mean, I'm eighth house Cancer on so many different levels. So it's like healing is just a natural thing for me. That through breath work. We're going to be meeting down at Puerto Escondido. Okay. It is south of Mexico City. Looking like June 17th to the 24th. None of this is fully set. I'm just going ahead and manifesting like an Aries would, and I'm pushing things forward. But we looked up, we already kind of looked up a villa. This shit looks sweet, which is really cool. But none of that's going to be showed up front because all that's all changeable. What I mostly want to know is like, go ahead and either send me or Peace Dealer email. Both of them are in our accounts on YouTube. Ask questions and just let us know like, what would you like to actually see from two different astrologers? I don't really know many astrologers that have ran retreats before. I've ran multiple retreats, but only one of them was like half astrology. It was other things like breath work and walking meditations, things I learned from monks and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. So definitely let us know, what would you like to learn in a retreat? What kind of problems are you facing that we can kind of help you with? And that's what we would like to hear, so that we can make sure we tailor it to you. And you can either drop that in the chats now or go ahead and shoot emails. We both have our emails openly in our profiles, and we'll kind of make more official announcements as him and I talk moving into it. But plan for June, plan to have your passport. These are some basic things. If you don't have a passport, plan to deep dive.
Right.
Plan to do something you're not familiar with.
Beautiful. Well, thank you guys for joining us. I guess to answer your question, alchemical gland destinations, Pisces risings are divine beings, and you're an instrument of divinity. Other than that, y'all stay blessed as always, and until next time.